Good afternoon, West Catholic, and welcome to another episode of West Catholic Live. I am your principal, Mr. Fisher, and I'm once again in studio solo as we get set to kick off another show. Thank you for joining us. We got a number of things to go over today, some great conversations with our students about Shakespeare that's being done this week. We have a lot of kids leaving for March for Life. We're talking to Mr. Nugent, who is leading that trip. So we get a special interviewer for that episode, or that quick interview. And of course, we got Cam's giveaway, among other things. So before we get started, let's bring in our host, Mr. Gonzalez, joining us remotely. Hey, Gonzo, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Mr. Fisher. Good to see you. Thanks for holding down the fort there in the broadcast studios of West Catholic Live. I'm excited to join the show today, folks. I hope you are as well. Keep following this show because our goal is to give you the news, information, and kind of behind the scenes look of what's happening at West Catholic High School. Like Mr. Fisher said, a lot of great content today. If you want to know more about Macbeth, we have this great interview with the director and some students. And there's just so much to look forward to today's show.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Really excited to do that for sure. Want to go ahead and get us kicked off with Cam's giveaway?
That's right, folks. If you want to win Cam's giveaway, Assistant Athletic Director Cam Burns is going to join us here shortly. But you want to comment in the Facebook post, tell us you want to win Cam's giveaway, and we will select a winner on Friday afternoon sometime and make sure you get the prize. All right, let's check in with Cam. Cam Burns, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Gonzo. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Another busy week at West Catholic High School. It's time for another Cam's giveaway. But before we get to the giveaway, let's run down some sports, sports activities this week and this weekend at West Catholic High School.
Absolutely. Got a action-packed filled week here. Obviously, we have our lower level boys will be home versus Coopersville on Thursday. And then boys will be home on Thursday, and then on Friday we have our varsity games versus Coopersville at 5:30 and 6 and 7:30. This weekend, Saturday, we're gonna have our girls Falcon Invitational for our cheer teams. So definitely come out support. It's 9 a.m. bright and early if you don't have anything else to do. Definitely come out.
Awesome. Now, as we get ready to do Cam's giveaway, I heard you have a special guest in the office there to help you with Cam's giveaway.
I do. I would love to introduce senior soccer and football player, Henry Ripple here. How's it going?
It's good to see you, man. Great to see you. I love that Cam has, his entourage there to help him with Cam's giveaway. Folks, if you've not done Cam's giveaway before, it's real simple. Cam and now Henry will unveil what the prize is. We want you to comment on Facebook Live right now. If you're on the YouTube, comment as well. But just tell us why you want to win Cam's giveaway, or just say, I want to win Cam's giveaway, and you'll win the prize. All right, Cam and Henry, tell us what the lucky winners could get this week.
All right, so this week we got the West Catholic mug, as well as a $25 Spirit Store gift card.
Hey.
Nice. And you can use that, next time you're in the Spirit Store, right?
The Spirit Store is open on Friday, so it's comment away here.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot for your time. Henry, great to see you as well. That is Cam's giveaway, everyone. And you know what? We do that every single week here on West Catholic Live. All right, and now it's time to get to the chatter. Yeah, we'll do some weekly chatter with Mr. Tony Fisher.
Thanks, Gonzo. We'll get to a couple quick announcements from the weekly chatter. We're halfway through the exam week, which is kind of exciting for our students. That means a couple different things. We still have a few exams left, and the start of another semester next week. So, talk to your students about next week, beginning of the semester. Students, don't forget that the schedule, we will not include block days next week. We don't do block days the first week of the semester just because of possible class switches. Registration for Celebrate West, our auction, is going on now. It's been a couple of years, so we're excited to have people back in the building to celebrate and all the successes of the school, And, again, we haven't had it in a couple of years, so it'll be exciting to see everybody's faces. The details are on the screen for you. Don't forget that we're giving away a car this year. You can buy tickets in the main office. And if you're interested in sponsoring, please feel free to give us a call or go to the website and click on WC Auction where you can get information. Again, the website just on the screen right there. Also, real quick, just so everybody remembers, next week, Saturday, is the Shake Your Tail Feathers Dance. We weren't sure we were going to mention it, but we definitely want to mention it. So if you're interested, it's a wonderful time. Please feel free to go ahead and sign up for that, or reach out if you have questions about the Shake Your Tail Feathers Dance. Fantastic opportunity to support the students and have a great time. So that is your weekly chatter for this week. I think right now what I'd like to do is get us into one of the fun conversations that we were able to get set up for you all this week. So, John, I believe it's you and maybe Mr. Bob Rose, director of Macbeth.
That's right. We have an interview with Mr. Bob Rose about the big production this week at Aquinas College Performing Arts Center. And we also talked to some students. So let's just get to the interview right now. Thanks for joining us here on West Catholic Live, folks. Well, Mr. Bob Rose, it is showtime for the latest Shakespeare production between West Catholic and Grand Rapids Catholic Central. How excited are you?
I'm ready for the show to go. Kids have fought through a lot this last semester almost in order to get to where we are right now, and it's paying off. They've come a long, long way. Now there's a little bit of stuff to tighten up today, but we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll.
That's awesome. Well, you were just saying off the air that it's been challenging. I know that this whole process began last summer when you had some readings and leads up to this weekend.
Actually, it started a year and a half ago. I auditioned this show back in 2020, thinking that it would go up in 2021. And we started that first full week in November, and we've been going full tilt ever since. So, yeah, it's been actually almost 2 years by the time we get done with this.
Almost 2 years. That's just it's hard to imagine that, that this process would be so long in the making. But why don't you, for everyone that maybe is not familiar with the production, and I don't know, am I allowed to say the name? Because I understand there's like a superstition with saying the name of the play inside a theater. I've
done this show 4 times, and 3 of the times I've survived. This one, I'm not so sure. So I don't know. Technically, as long as you are not in a theater, it is not a problem if you use the word Macbeth. If you are in a theater and you are practicing, it's fine. But if you are in a theater and you are not practicing and you use the name of Macbeth, then you fall victim to the curse that Macbeth places on the witches in Act 4, Scene 1. And theoretically, you're in big trouble.
Now, I know Shakespeare can be a little challenge when it comes to the language. How have students done so far, and what can you tell me about this cast?
I think the thing about language is a big hoax. It's just a scare tactic to keep people from trying to figure out what Shakespeare is all about. Shakespeare writes poetry. There's no question about that. But we don't criticize poets simply because they use language in a different way than we do under modern circumstances. And we should look at Shakespeare the same way. If you read the punctuation, it makes all kinds of sense. You stop at periods and question marks and exclamation points, and you pause at commas. And you know what? When you do that, it actually all of a sudden clicks together like almost modern English.
Well, that's great. Well, hopefully we'll talk to some of the students here in a few minutes, but just to wrap things up for us, Bob Rose, and we really appreciate your time here. I know you're getting ready for 5 productions over the next 4 days, Wednesday through Saturday with 7 p.m. shows. There'll be a 2 o'clock matinee at the Aquinas Performing Arts Center. We look forward to seeing the show. But lastly, I know you started this 21 years ago, this collaboration between West Catholic and Grand Rapids Catholic Central. Can you just kind of give us the reason why you started doing it, and what have you seen over the last 2 decades of what this Shakespeare production has done to bring both communities together?
The collaboration came about because there was some discord in the late 90s between the 2 schools about who could go to school where. And I went to the man who was in charge of things at that point in time, and I said, hey, look, these are two Catholic schools that have the same goals and the same purpose. I said, they don't do anything together other than to go to John Ball Park for the fall fundraiser, and they're there for 10 minutes with each other, and away they go. And I said, as far as I know, there's nothing else out there that asks those kids to get together in any other way, shape, or form. And I said, wouldn't it be kind of neat if we could pull all this together by doing two schools doing the same show, and that show being Shakespeare, because we could tuck it in right after Christmas, sometime in early January or February, and away we go. I've done 22 years of Shakespeare. And there are kids, my son included, who were in the first show, who still communicate with kids that they met at West Catholic, even though my son went to Catholic Central. They still communicate with each other, and they still talk to each other and stuff like that. And that's what the purpose was, is to just show these kids that they could be friends at times too. And it didn't really hurt to do that. And I'm very, to be blunt, I'm very proud that it worked out as well as it has, because it's done exactly what I wanted it to do. So.
Well, congratulations to you, Bob Rose. We do appreciate it. Again, folks, the productions take place January 19th through the 22nd, Aquinas College Performing Arts Center, matinee show at 2 o'clock on Saturday, 7 p.m. at night. Tickets are available. You can get more information there on the website. Thank you so much. Congratulations, and have fun with that Scottish play this weekend.
We will. Trust me, we will. We'll come out with smiles on our face. I guarantee you. Guarantee you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and let's see if we can go find those students.
Thanks, John. Talk to you later.
We're so excited to have the students here of the production Macbeth. Why don't each one of you introduce yourselves and tell us what your role is with the show?
I'm Megan Johnson. I'm a senior, and I play stage manager.
I'm Caleb Heisinger. I'm also a senior, and I play Macbeth.
I'm Michael Goffer. I'm also a senior, and I play Macduff.
All right. Well, I love that. Caleb, I love how we talked a little bit off the air, and when you introduce yourself, you put your hand to your chest. Why is that?
I have no idea.
He does it in the play, too.
Yes.
You do that in the play, too?
All the time.
I think it's just kind of you've learned to do that all the time. So
yeah, exactly.
Caleb, tell us a little bit about the show and why you're excited to be in the production.
Ooh, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I get to be the lead. It's such a great story. It has a lot of great questions. If either it was it was his free will or his destiny that made him do all these things, and it's just a very thought-provoking show.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I know that we had a great interview with Bob Rose, the director who's been doing this for 2 decades, and he talked a little bit about the background of the show and the language of the production and the challenge through COVID and getting this show off the ground. Megan, as stage manager, what's it going to be like on opening night? And you have 5 shows to get through the weekend.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work to get to this point. I know that for sure. I think we're looking in great standing, especially with all the hardships we've gone through with that. But I think it's going to be amazing. And if we get a big crowd, that'd be better than ever. Because we've been waiting 2 years, I think, to do this one play.
Now, were all 3 of you originally on the original production, or did you come in later?
I was on the
original.
Yep.
So, Michael, what was that like to go through that, time of just waiting for this moment?
Well, initially it was kind of disappointing because you were looking forward to putting on this production when it got shut down last year because of COVID protocols and whatnot. It got really disappointing to everybody, but due to the fact that a lot of the leads were seniors at the time, they were going to be graduating. That also opened the door for new opportunities to, kind of step into that role and take on a bigger part in the production. And so it was kind of disappointment, but led to optimism for the future ahead.
Yeah. Megan, if you could tell people a little bit about this interesting collaboration between West Catholic and Catholic Central. I know that you've been rehearsing and spending a lot of time with the students at Grand Rapids Catholic Central. What's it been like? Was it awkward at first, and did it get easier? What's that relationship with them?
I think there's this rivalry that we have when it comes to sports, but anything outside of sports, we can be best buddies in. We have more collaborations than just Shakespeare. We have it with Winterguard as well. I think it's very easy for us to become friends because it's the same curriculum that we all go through. We're all dealing with the same kind of schooling. but it's nice because we're getting a lot more people to do one thing and making a lot more friends.
Was when with that experience, either Caleb or Charlie, did you have a moments where you kind of like, wow, this is fun. This is more fun than I realized it would be.
I mean, I definitely did. I always was like, Shakespeare, that's a lot of hard English language, very old-timey. But then it was like, this is actually very fun, like putting together lights and doing all kinds of fun little acting things and all the acting prompts we have. It's super nice.
Now, as stage manager, Megan, do you have to like keep track of everything? I mean, explain the role of a stage manager for those that don't know.
So as stage manager, I'm kind of up in the box. I call out everything. Like when lights change, I'm helping out with that. When people need makeup, I help out with that. I kind of just help out all around, make sure everything kind of runs. It's like mini director is what I call it.
Awesome. Caleb, as the lead, what do you want people to come away with? Obviously, they're going to sit through the show. Is it 2 hours long?
Yes, about that.
It's a 2-hour show, a lot of language there. People have to, brush up on their Shakespeare a little bit. What do you want people to walk away with when they leave the theater? Or what do you want them to say to themselves?
That I would try to like hit home is that basically God gives us all free will. We don't have to just follow what anybody else tells us. We can go based on what we want, and nobody else has to tell us what to do. But like at the same time, right, we all have this moral compass, and it's our own. Nobody else can like tell us what to do. Nobody else can like force us what to do. We can all follow what we desire. We can just follow ourselves, follow our own goals, and not try to please anybody else except for ourselves and God.
Wow. So there's a bigger meaning for you in the show. Same for you, Megan?
Oh,
Or Caleb, either one of you?
For me personally, I want it to make people question. I want them to be left thinking, where does this play go after the final scene? I like leaving people to believe that there could be like a sequel almost. Like there's this imagination to the play. There's so much that you can try and figure out yourself. You don't have to know the exact meaning of everything,
All right. Well, there are 5 performances over the next few days. A matinee on Saturday afternoon and 7 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday at the Performing Arts Center at Aquinas College. Any last thing that each one of you want to say to those that are coming out or those that maybe haven't gotten their tickets yet?
You need to come out and see this because this is going to be an amazing play, and I know it.
it's gonna be the greatest show ever.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You might not think it because like Shakespeare, old-timey, old people stuff, but it's actually going to be really, really exciting.
It's very humorous.
There's something for everybody. There's blood. There's romance. There's violence. So good.
Real swords.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, stage manager, watch for those real swords. Thank you, all 3 of you, Megan, Caleb, and Michael, for being on West Catholic Live, and we'll see you at that Scottish play this weekend at Aquinas College.
Holy moly, so much to unpack there, Gonzo. I feel like I have a lot of questions coming out of that interview, whether it be the idea of not saying the name of the play, which I don't fully grasp, but I've never been a stage person, so I gotta get that question answered at some point in time. And how about one of our seniors wearing a Dwight Schrute shirt for an interview? That made me smile. Like I cracked up right away.
Yeah, I didn't know what to tell them. Say, well, okay, keep it on, I guess.
Yeah, sure. And God bless Bob Rose. Like recognizing that 2 schools, amazing institutions. Maybe they aren't doing everything perfect, but we have a common theme and a common mission. We should probably be doing more work together. So for him to do that many years ago, and to be continuing to do that today, is just awesome opportunity for the kids. So thanks again to Bob. So yeah, I guess good job, Gonzo, on the interview. Thank you so much for doing that. And it's always fun to hear from the kids too. That was a good group. How about hitting the did you know. You okay with that, Gonzo? If I go right to did you know?
Let's do some did you know? Yes,
you
Mr. Fisher, because I want to know more about you know a lot of things behind the scenes of what happens at West Catholic and why we do things the way we do it. So I'd love to hear some did you knows with Mr. Principal Tony Fisher.
Oh yeah, sure. So I think many of you know that St. John Paul II is our patron saint. We chose St. John Paul. Maybe it's 10 years ago now. We got to look into the anniversary of that to be our patron saint. Did you know that St. John Paul's real name or his birth name was Carol? And when Carol was younger, he participated in underground theater, and he had to do it underground because it was frowned upon in many instances during his time. He also enjoyed soccer and playing soccer and watching soccer and skiing and lots of athletic activities and camping. And when we celebrate St. John Paul's feast day, do it for the week. And we do things like play bubble soccer or do some sort of events that relate to the things that St. John Paul II enjoyed as a child or even as a young adult. St. John Paul also started World Youth Day. And an interesting fact about World Youth Day is that when he came to the United States to have World Youth Day in Denver, Colorado, there was actually a West Catholic alum on the tarmac welcoming him to the United States. And I know this personally because that person graduated in 1996, and she's been my bride for 18 years, almost 18 years now. So that's an interesting fact about St. John Paul, bringing in some alumni from West Catholic, and some of the things that he liked to do that our students, if you just watch the interview, really like to do as well. So exciting stuff all the way around, right?
I love the trivia, and did you know, Mr. Tony Fisher, very cool. Didn't know your bride was on the tarmac. That's awesome.
She was. Yeah, it was very cool. She's got some really great photos.
That's great. I'd love to see them someday. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Fisher, it is that time where we get to introduce making her debut with West Catholic Live, our communications director, Natalie Scalabrino, and she has a very special interview with a former teacher of hers.
Hey everyone, my name is Natalie Scalabrino and I'm the communications director here at West Catholic. And today I'm joined in studio by one of my favorite teachers and the Students for Life advisor, Pat Nugent.
Hi, Natalie.
Okay, now when I was a student at West Catholic, shout out to the class of 2012, I was involved in a lot of different activities and groups, one of which that stood out most to me and had the most profound impact on me as a student was Students for Life. So can you tell us a little bit about Students for Life and how it got started here at West?
Well, we've had a Students for Life club really working here all the 29 years I've been at West and probably some of the years before that. Our Students for Life organization does a lot of things on a number of different levels, working in the community, working at the school to raise pro-life awareness, working in the Grand Rapids community, volunteering with Help Pregnancy Center, volunteering with Right to Life of Grand Rapids, and really trying to build up the pro-life culture of our community, but also then taking it on a national level with something like the March for Life.
Yeah, and speaking of the March for Life, that's coming up very, very soon. So for those of you who might not know what it is, can you give a quick overview of what the March for Life is and how West Catholic got involved in that?
The March for Life is an annual event that takes place in Washington, D.C. Every year, close to January 22nd, the Friday closest to that. We'll be leaving school this week, as Natalie said, to attend the March for Life. It's been going on in Washington, D.C. ever since the Roe v. Wade decision in 1973. So every year since 1973, this march has met in Washington, D.C. to make the pro-life statement known to our lawmakers, to the nation as a whole, every year in January, to remind that of the value of life, of the importance for life, that thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people will be in Washington, D.C. for that event.
Now, in your opinion, what does the March for Life, what kind of impact does it have on our students and the West Catholic community?
What I see from the students, I've been going on the march every year since 2001. And what I see from the students is it really reinforces the pro-life message that we already promote here at West Catholic and teach here at West Catholic. But it helps students to see that it's not just a West Side thing or a Grand Rapids thing or a My Small Catholic High School thing, that this is a national movement that they are part of, that this is something that hundreds of thousands of people they'll see from all over the country are passionate about. And so it really inspires the students at West to realize that this is something bigger than just West Catholic, something bigger than just their own friendship circle, that this is a national statement that can be made that really has an impact nationwide and worldwide.
Okay, and you've said you've been going on the trip since 2001?
Yes.
Okay, so that's quite a while. Do you have
Yes.
any favorite memories or special moments from all those trips?
Oh, there's lots of memories. Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to say the ones from when you were on the trip, but there's lots of memories. It's been really interesting to see some of the huge crowds that we've been part of and some of the events. And one of the whole experience of traveling with a busload of students to Washington, D.C., the march and the youth rally that we usually attend in Washington, D.C. are very important for the students. And there's lots of meaningful things that happen, but we also get a chance to tour in Washington, D.C. and to see our nation's capital and to really learn about America and you know, our history and our government. We were there, I don't even remember how many years ago now, 5 or 6 years ago, when a major blizzard came through and we were stranded in Washington, D.C. for 3 extra days and walking down the middle of Pennsylvania Avenue in 3-foot deep snow or whatever is a once in a lifetime experience, really, that we've been able to see Washington in lots of different ways and lots of different places all over that Washington, D.C. area. We've been in those 20 some years. We've been in a lot of places.
Yeah, and you mentioned some of them, obviously, but what's on the agenda this year? Do you have any special little trips or excursions planned outside of the march?
Yeah, this year, because of still COVID restrictions, not all of our options are available that sometimes I choose from. So this year we will definitely be using some of our other time that we're in Washington, D.C. to hit up some of the Smithsonian museums. I usually allow the students to choose 1 or 2 to visit. I think we're planning this year to go to Arlington National Cemetery. I like to go there every couple of years. I'm not sure. Usually every year or 2 we go to the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, but I don't think we're going to make it out there this year.
Okay. How many students are going to be joining the march this year?
This year we'll have 47 students, and there's 2 teachers and 3 other parents who will be going from West Catholic.
Okay, and you said you're taking off on Thursday and the march is Friday, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll be going Thursday night, riding on the bus all night long, getting there Friday morning ready for the march.
Definitely a long trip, but definitely worth it. So obviously we have a lot of students who go every year. So if any students are watching this or parents who think their kids might be interested, how might a student get involved with Students for Life and then later the March for Life?
Yeah, I encourage anyone who has an interest or thinks they have an interest or a passion for these pro-life activities to start by joining our club. We meet at least once a month during the focus time scheduled in the day. So the students know how to choose that when they see it come up as an option. So right during the school day, they can meet, and that's where we plan our volunteer activities. That's where we plan our real in-school activities and community activities. And then it's from there that we start to have the students who start to become active in the club and some of our local club activities who take the opportunity to then go on the march. That would be next year when we start planning for that by next October or so.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today and answering a few questions. I hope you have a really great weekend, and I know our community will be praying for a safe trip for everyone.
Thanks, Natalie.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, now we'll head back to Mr. Fisher in the studio to wrap up this week's show.
Thanks, Natalie. Very cool story. I want to start by saying thank you to Mr. Nugent for providing this opportunity, putting in all the effort to run the Students for Life organization, as well as prepare and plan this trip. Students, please take advantage of it if you get the chance. Everyone out there, please make sure that you're saying a couple prayers for the students and the teachers and the chaperones that are heading out Thursday evening. They would greatly appreciate it, and so would we. So thank you again, Mr. Nugent. And how about Natalie? I think a star is born. Great job, Nat. Thank you so much for the interview. Again, too, being a producer of the show. What do you think, Gonzo?
Yeah, she did a great job. And folks, if you want to hear, more from Natalie, let us know in the comments. If you want to hear from other teachers at West Catholic High School, please leave that as well in the comments. We want this to be your show every Wednesday here on West Catholic Live. We want to give you information, take you behind the scenes, bring you interviews with students, teachers, parents, club, organizers, people in development. I talked to Taylor today about, the big event coming up, and she was awesome to give me great information about the upcoming event, the auction. So there are a lot of people working at West Catholic, and they're working hard for you. So please put that information in the comments, like this page, and of course, share this broadcast, because we want to get more people to learn about what's happening at West Catholic High School.
Yeah, absolutely. I second that. And I would offer too, if you have a question or you want to know something, don't be afraid to reach out. Natalie's monitoring our Facebook page every day. And if you have a question or you want us to cover something, or you think we have an interesting story that you guys want us to share, or you want us to share with the public, please just let us know. Shoot us a comment, like our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages, and just let us know what you want to hear from us. So, Gonzo, I don't know about you, but I don't have much left. So thank you again for joining me this afternoon. I greatly appreciate all your efforts. I don't want to forget to, the guys behind the scenes, Tom Cunsley, Joe Bailey, who do so much work for us and help us with this. And I appreciate that all of you are continue to support me and work at getting better at this. So thank you all. West Catholic, have a wonderful day.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.